training for you guys. I was really feeling called to provide this for people because it's one of the tools that I use with all of my clients. And I actually think it's one of the most powerful tools, if not the most powerful. And the reason is it's so diverse. You can use it with a lot of different things. And this is literally the one thing that when I talk about shifting your energy and getting your brain and body on board with what you want, this is the way to do that. And I do it with people that are looking for deep healing, and I do it with my manifestation clients as well. My business kind of split into two different things depending on what people are looking for. So this is tapping. A lot of people have called this like EFT or emotional freedom technique, but I just want to say that that's not the style of tapping I do. This is actually a more direct way. And for me, it actually works better and it's easier. I know a lot of people have a hard time with EFT because it's a lot. And this is very like quick, like you can do this in 3 minutes a day. And it really allows for you to kind of customize it for what you need. So anyways, let's dive in. So this works for getting rid of, so it's two phases. So the first phase is we're going to get rid of whatever's holding us back, whether that's a feeling, a belief, a thought, or a sensation in our body. For those of you that have been following me, you kind of know, and I've talked about this a lot, the thought feeling cycle. So this is kind of where neuroscience comes in. Neuroscience is about how our brain and body talk to each other. I mean, obviously there's more to it than that, but in this respect, that's what I mean. So the way this works is that something will happen and you will have a thought consciously, but most of the time it's unconscious. We're not actively aware of it, but you can be sometimes. It kind of depends on where you're at in the cycle. If you're really aware of your patterns or you've done a lot of work, you might be aware of it. But anyways, you'll have a thought and that thought creates a sensation in your body. So if you ever notice that you are anxious, you know, you'll feel it in your chest, you'll feel it in your stomach. If you're angry, you might feel it like all over your body, but there's always a sensation attached to a thought. And then what happens is our brain will try to interpret that sensation and try to tell you, oh, what am I feeling? And that's how we determine feelings, right? And this is really important because the state of our nervous system will actually dictate how we're perceiving our feelings. And a really good way to describe this is, I don't know if you have ever felt excited and scared at the same time. So being excited and being scared are almost physiologically identical in the body. So it's like, am I scared or am I excited or am I both? And your nervous system, depending on what state your nervous system is and how healthy it is in the sense of being flexible. So when I say a regulated nervous system, I don't mean that every time you're going to just be chill, because that wouldn't be helpful. You need to be able to have a flexible nervous system. So if you are in danger, that you can go into fight or flight. But, you know, if we're not in danger, we need to be able to turn that off. So when I say a regulated nervous system or a healthy nervous system, I just mean that it's flexible and it can come back to center and rest and digest easily if you're not in danger or if something crazy isn't happening, right? And obviously this is grossly, what am I trying to say? Like, I'm not explaining it in a very detailed way. This is just the way I'm going to describe it for this mini training. But yeah, so thought creates a sensation, then your brain interprets that sensation into a feeling. So this is a really good way to get rid of those thoughts, belief systems, sensations, and feelings. And these are really good, like if you feel very triggered, if you feel like you're kind of on the emotional roller coaster, that you're kind of always up and down and can't get off, and you feel like your emotions are running the show. If you have a lot of beliefs that you can't do something or can't have something, this is also really, really powerful. So I'm going to teach you in this mini training how to get rid of all of those. However they show up for you. But then what's really amazing about this training is that I'm also going to show you how to install the feeling that you want to feel. And if you notice that you come at things, whether it's you know, a disagreement with your partner or a goal or, you know, losing 10 pounds or whatever it is, if you go for your goal from the place and feeling that you want to feel, the thing that you think, the feeling that you think that your goal will give you, it'll be a lot easier to not only goal for your goal or, you know, resolve issues or just be happier, more fulfilled and more present, but it will be easier. So easier, and you'll notice things start to shift in your life a lot quicker. Okay, so let's dive in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pretend that I have an emotion that I want to get rid of, and then I'm going to install the emotion that I want. So I'm going to kind of go through it as like I'm coaching myself. So just to let you guys know, the tapping spots are on the top of your head in the center, the side of your eye, there's a bone right here. So it's right there, 2 fingers. Underneath your eye, there's also a bone where it meets the part that's not bone, your collarbone. And then breathe in, grab your wrist, breathe out, and then you say peace. Peace will become your anchor. This will become an anchor. So eventually, if you do this enough and you're in a really like activated state, you can grab your wrist and it'll kind of just automatically take you to that peaceful state. Pretty cool, huh? Our bodies are very intelligent. And if you know how to work with them and not against them, things can actually be a lot easier than we think. Okay, so just to recap, we're going to tap out the bad or perceived bad or negative, and we're going to install the good or positive, okay? So let's say I am dealing with anxiety. Let's just say that, right? And I'm dealing with anxiety in my business or money. Let's say like money flowing in my business. Like I'm anxious that like I'm not going to make enough money in my business. But this can work for anything. It could be anxiety about flying. It can be, you know, anger. It can be frustration. It can be the belief that I'm not good enough or I'm unworthy or I'm never going to find love or I'm never going to make that kind of money. This works with anything, right? And another really good point is that it works for everyone. I've done this with hundreds of people, and my mentor that taught me this has done it with thousands, and it works every time. Really quick, I just wanted to say that I actually learned this from Mike Mandel. I don't know, those of you who know me might know that I am trained in neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis. I don't really, I use neurolinguistic programming and maybe conversational hypnosis, but I don't use traditional hypnosis in my work anymore. It's a great tool to have. I have it in my pocket if I need it, but I'm mostly conversationally doing change work. But anyways, Mike Mandel is this amazing hypnotist. He's actually worked for the Canadian government, working with their police force, doing really great things, because really we're just working with the unconscious. It's not nearly as woo-woo as it sounds, but I did want to give him credit for this type of tapping. Mike Mandel, he has the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. So just wanted to let you guys know that. So we are going to start. So by asking myself, so, okay, so how anxious do I feel about money in my business? Do I feel on a scale from 1 to 10? So you really want to always measure this because we need to check our work and make sure that what we're doing is working, right? And then if once you realize it's working, you're like, hell yeah, let's do this. So on a scale from 1 to 10, and you really want to get it as high up there as you can, and just know that it's safe to get it kind of up there, because the point is for us to embody that feeling so we can actually process it. And just so you know, this is not bypassing. We're actually giving ourselves a sped up way to process emotions, basically, is what we're doing. So you don't have to worry about, oh, am I just suppressing it? No, this is actually getting it out of your body. There might be 2 reasons if it's going really slow or not really working. One is that you're dehydrated, so make sure you drink a lot of water before or after. The other one that I've noticed is that if people are in kitchens, for example, so around like large like refrigerators or stoves, I don't know why, it might be an electromagnetic thing, I don't know, but if it's not working or it's going really slow, just move locations, and that's really it. And the other thing that I really, really want to say is that you can't do this wrong. You can't fuck it up. Like, please know that, because I feel like a lot of people get so caught up in like, am I doing it right? Am I using enough fingers? Am I putting enough pressure? Am I saying the right things? And being caught up in that is actually what's getting in the way of you feeling relief, not with just with this, but with everything. So not only is this a really great practice for you to process your emotions quickly and come back to center and come back to the feelings that you want to feel, but it's also a really good practice in trusting yourself that you know what's best for you. And that's true for everybody. Like, even for me and my clients, like, I'm not telling them what to do. I'm setting them up so they know what to do and they know how to tap into their wisdom and what's right for them, because no two people are the same. And we need to honor our truth and honor what's right for us to live our most authentic and fulfilled and happy lives. So this will be a way to cultivate like trusting yourself, right? Okay, so we're gonna start again. Sorry, kind of went off a little tangent there. Top of the head, I use 2 fingers, side, underneath the eye, and collarbone. I don't know why I do just one hand, one hand, one hand, and then 2 hands. It doesn't matter which side. It doesn't matter if you use both hands or one hand or a mix like I do. It doesn't matter. Just make sure the points are pretty similar. Like, make sure you're on bone and make sure that you're tapping like not super hard, but like enough, right? Like, you know, but don't get too caught up in like, oh, how many times should I tap? Or if I'm tapping hard enough. Like, once you do this a few times, you'll notice that you kind of get the swing of it, right? Okay. So I'm feeling really anxious about money in my business. Like, oh my gosh, like what if I don't sign a new client? What if I don't make enough money and I run out, or whatever I'm anxious about, right? And let's say on a scale from 1 to 9 or 1 to 10, I'm like a 9, and I'm feeling it in my body. And I'm even noticing like anxiety is in my stomach. It feels kind of like, when you're on like a roller coaster, that kind of droppy feeling, and just noticing that that's where this is. And it's very sensational for me. So it's uncomfortable, right? And so we want to process that out. So yeah, I'm just going to start. And the point of this is just to say out loud what you're feeling, and then to just allow it to be in your body, and then just say that you're ready to let it go. But each one of you are going to have your own way of saying it, and getting the terminology right for you is important. Like, try it the way that I say it, but then start getting in the flow of saying what you really feel and like what feels right for you, because sometimes just a tweak of words will really help speed things along. So I'm in like a 9 out of 10. So I'm just going to be like, I'm just feeling really anxious in my body right now. Just feeling that anxiety in my body. It's allowed to be here. I know it was here for a reason. Just show me the way, but I'm here to let it go. Let it go, let it go. Breathe in, breathe out. Automatically, I already feel better. I'm already like a 3, like automatically. But I do this work a lot, so my body tends to go very quickly. Like I said, if it's going slow, like 9, 7, 6, get up, move locations, drink some water. Sometimes even shaking your body might help. Especially if you had a big jump, it's always kind of help, like just be aware of what your body wants to feel and do. And even if you want to say certain things that may not make sense, trust it. Whatever's coming forward and whatever's coming up is exactly right. And I can't say this enough. You cannot do this wrong. So just let that idea go and just trust yourself to do it. So I'm at a 3. So let's do it again, because the goal is 0, right? Like sometimes you might not be able to get it down to a 0. It might get down to a 1 or a 2. But you know what? For me, a 1 or 2 is a hell of a lot better than a 9 or a 10. So I'll take that as a win, right? But if you can get it down to 0, that is the intention here. So I'm just feeling this anxiety in my body. I'm noticing it in my stomach. It feels kind of woozy. It feels a little uncomfortable. But I'm ready to let it go. It's no longer serving me, and I'm safe to let it go. Peace. Yeah, I would say I'm like at a 0.5. Like I'm not at 0, but like I'm pretty damn close. And for me, you'll notice that I have a lot around safety. So a lot of times that's what I need to shift is like, I feel safe to let this go. A lot of times something like anxiety is actually there to be like, hey, something's out of alignment, something's not right. And it's actually a gift in that way, but we don't want to walk around feeling anxious. So just like kind of acknowledging it and be like, okay, it was here for a reason. And kind of the point is kind of saying to it, I hear you, like I'm listening to you. That allows it to be like, okay, you hear me. Like think of it as a siren going off, like something's wrong. And oh, interesting. What's going on? Why do I feel that way? Right. And then you'll notice as soon as you give it attention and call it by its name, just that alone, just saying, wow, I'm feeling really anxious right now, will just soften it immediately. But doing this whole process is like crazy powerful. So I'm at a 0.5 and there's no set words. I'm just saying what is coming up for me. But again, just so you guys know, this is what I'm feeling. It's okay that it's here, but I'm ready to let it go. That's kind of the point, right? Okay, so on the top of my head, I feel this anxiety in my body. Just feeling it in my body. But I realize it's no longer serving me. It's not helping me get to my goal of making more money. It's actually causing me to have more stress. So I'm ready to let that go. Let it go fully, watching it, kind of visualizing it draining into the ground. It's no longer here to serve me. Let it go, let it go. Peace. Whew. Yeah. So I want to shake because it got rid of that last little bit and it kind of felt tingly. So I was like, all right, shake it out. But you notice that like in that one, for whatever reason, I felt like doing my head and my collarbones longer. And that's okay. Like again, no right or wrong way. So just go with the flow. So I'm now at a 0. I'm pretty neutral. If you were like, hey, Farron, you're not going to make any money next month, I feel pretty neutral about it. I'm like, okay. Whereas earlier I'd be like, oh my gosh, like what? I'm not gonna make any money. Holy crap. I need to scramble. I need to freak out. And now I'm just kind of like, it's fine. I'm just neutral. I'm not like positive, but I'm just like, no, everything's good. Like, but now how do I want to feel? Right. So I want to feel confident and I want to feel safe. Yeah, like those, like because it's around my business, for me, like I want to feel safe and supported and maybe some confidence in there too. If you're dealing with general anxiety, you might just want to feel peace, but whatever you want to feel is fine. And you can do this a few times with different feelings and like try it on and see what works for you. But the feeling that you want to install is always going to be kind of aligned with your goal. If my goal is to make more money in my business, well, then I want to feel like safe making more money and I want to feel supported and confident, right? But if I'm just anxious and I might just want to feel calm, and that's okay, whatever you want to feel. So right now, in between your pinky and ring finger, there's a hollow spot, so find it. Doesn't matter if it's on your left or right. I think I just do it this way because I'm right-handed, so it doesn't matter. I do mine with 2 fingers. Again, the same type of pressure. And again, you can't do it wrong, right? So we're gonna tap here and it usually takes about 60 to 90 seconds and you'll know it's installed when there's a physiological response. So a lot of times, like I'm a yawner, I yawn. But people yawn, sometimes they stretch, sometimes people sneeze, like that's a thing. But there will always be a physical response. Sometimes people swallow and you'll notice, it'll kind of click in, but 60 to 90 seconds, depending on how deep it goes. For me, mine installs pretty quick because I do this work a lot. But if, it's something that it just depends on the person. So I'm gonna say I want to feel safe and confident and supported in my business, that I'm gonna make money and I'm gonna grow and I'm gonna be of service to my humans and do the work that I love to do. Like that's my goal, right? So kind of like touching back in with your goal kind of helps. Like, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing this. Yeah. So another good thing that you can do here is think of a time when you felt really confident or safe or just knew that something was going to work out for you, or really the idea of possibility is a really good thing of like, wow, like everything's possible. But the trick is that we want to really get in touch with the feeling that we're trying to install, because it's going to create a new neural pathway, and that is neuroplasticity. So basically, let me run this down for you. When we have these thoughts, like something happened, right? So maybe, I had a client issue and it made me think unconsciously or consciously, oh my gosh, like I'm never going to sign another client, right? And then I get this sensation of anxiety. And then my brain is like, oh my God, you're anxious and you're never going to make any money. And then you spin out. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Where you just kind of spin out and this like, it started out so small and all of a sudden you're bankrupt and like, going to be homeless next month, like that kind of thing. And sometimes it's not that it's intense, but anyway, so yeah. So what happens is like now I'll be like, oh, every time that something happens that makes me feel like I'm not going to sign a new client or I'm not going to make more money, instead of getting anxious, I'll start defaulting to feeling whatever I'm installing. So confident, safe, whatever. And if you do this over and over, it's like going to the gym, it creates a new neural pathway, a new neural network, a new neural circuit. So it's literally remolding your brain to default to a different thought and then a different sensation and then a different feeling. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so yeah, I close my eyes. You can do whatever you want. I'm feeling, and just say I'm feeling, not like I want to, but I'm feeling confident in my business. And right now I'm kind of thinking of a time I felt really confident in my business and really safe. I'm feeling confident and safe in my business. I know that I'm here to serve people. I know that people can really use this work, and I know where my heart is. And I know that I'm supported by my clients and the universe, and I know that I'm safe. I'm safe to make more money. I'm safe to sign new clients. I'm safe to hold all of that for me and my clients, and that I'm safe to hold money. And I'm confident in my work. I'm confident in my business, and I love what I do. And I know that my intention is for the greatest, highest good for all. Yeah. So those are just what I needed to hear to believe in that. A good thing to ask yourself is like, what do you need to hear to have this belief, to have this feeling, to have this sensation? That feeling of anxiety is completely gone, and now I just feel very calm and optimistic. So on it, and again, we're going to check our work on a scale from 1 to 10. How confident do I feel? How safe do I feel? How likely is it that I'm going to sign another client and I'm safe in my business and that I'm going to make the money I need? Yeah, it's like a 10. And again, you may have to do this, even the tapping out. So again, it's tapping out the negative or bad, and installing the positive or good, right? But you may have to do it a few times. Like I usually can do mine in like 2 or 3. Might take you 4 or 5 times the first 2 times. That's fine. But just keep going until you get it. But normally, I would say for me, it takes about 2 or 3 passes. I would say normally, if you're starting out, it's going to be like 3 to 5 times to like get the feeling out. Again, if it's not moving, drink some water, get up, move around, shake your body. If you're in a kitchen, maybe move out of the kitchen. Yeah, I'm actually gonna have some water because I'm actually kind of thirsty. And then when you're installing, just thinking about times when I felt confident. And for me, I needed to remember, I needed to hear, oh yeah, you're doing work that really is important to the world, and really it's a heart-centered and important thing for me, and reminding myself of that while I'm installing this feeling really helped it like click in, like okay, yeah. But of course, everybody's going to have a different dialogue of what they need to hear. So if you get caught up in it, it's like, oh, what do I need to hear to feel this, to embody this? When you hear people talk about being embodied, this is what we're talking about. How do I embody the feeling of being confident and connecting back to how I want to feel? So now going out and doing my business from this place is going to feel a lot easier because I've already got the feeling that I need, right? Like ironically, I we get in this thought pattern of like, oh, when I get this, I'll feel confident and safe. But that's actually backwards. We want to feel confident and safe to help us get the thing we want. And that's actually really cool if you think about it, because we're always chasing after feelings. It's not the thing, it's the feeling we think it's going to give us, but we can actually access those feelings anytime. They're already within us. And just being able to remember a time when you felt that way shows that it's in your library. It's indexed there, probably somewhere in your unconscious, right? So anyways, I hope this was helpful, because it really is to just be of service to help people really process anything they need to. So again, it's just really good for limiting beliefs. Like, I'm never going to find love. I'm never going to make that money. Being reactive of like, oh, I feel so irritated every time my partner does this. It irritates me. I'm frustrated. I feel abandoned because my partner isn't, present with me, or I'm never going to lose that last 10 pounds. Anything that you feel like is holding you back, it works on anything. And then just installing what you want to feel. And it really is that simple. And no joke, this takes like 3 minutes a day. Like, that's it. So if you do this 3 minutes a day, every day for a week, your life is going to change. So anyways, I hope this was helpful.